disabilities are aspiring to better futures, are working towards better futures, are building better futures. So we begin today in many ways with three very talented, fabulous, and heartwarming disabilities are aspiring to better futures, are working towards better futures, are building better futures. So we begin today in. Sorry, I don't know what was happening. Anyway, we are here with three, and we have three wonderful speakers with us today.
Recording in progress.
And the speakers are from different backgrounds. They have done different things with their life. They've had very different experiences, and they will each share their experiences as we go forward. And we'll begin with Aditi Shah. Let me just briefly introduce Aditi to you. Aditi Security Accessibility, and she currently works with Microsoft as a data and applied scientist on their security response team. She has a bachelor's and a master's in information technology from the University of Mumbai, and a master's in cybersecurity from the Georgia Institute of Technology, US. Having faced numerous challenges of being amongst the first few blind students to pursue a STEM career in India, she's determined to make the journey smoother for those wanting to take a similar path. She's associated with various nonprofits working in the interest of related advocacy initiatives, and also volunteers with leading MOOC provider to provide accessible online education. Since the time zones really clashed for Aditi to be with us today live, we have a pre-recorded video of Aditi speaking. It was. We are very excited to have her, and I'm just going to play the video for all of us to see.
Background with a dark blue oval in the center with text within it. At the top, text in orange says, "Rising Flame Presents." Below, in white, "Empower to Rise 2021." And then in orange again, "For Youth with Disabilities." On the right of the text is a majestic phoenix bird emerging from flames in orange, red, and yellow at the bottom. A light blue background with a dark blue oval in the center with text within it. Aditi Shah, Data and Applied Scientist at Microsoft. On the right of the text is a majestic phoenix bird emerging from flames in orange, red, and yellow at the bottom.
Hello, I'm Aditi. Thank you so much, Rising Flame, for inviting me today to share my story with this amazing group of youth with disabilities. I want to share my journey of becoming a techie. And this journey starts long back, right when I was a kid. I used to be very fascinated by this little machine called the computer. And I would spend hours and hours trying to learn new technologies or trying to create animations using Flash and so on. And obviously, I wanted to become a successful computer professional when I grew up. However, this very feasible looking dream was shattered because of a turning point in my life. When I was 11, I was diagnosed with a degenerative eye condition called retinitis pigmentosa, which rendered me totally blind by the age of 15. I could no longer read or write. I could no longer access computers. I could no longer do pretty much everything that I was able to do when I was sighted. However, after a brief period of self-indulgence, I realized that there's nothing I can do about changing this situation. So why not adapt to it? I started to equip myself with assistive technology available for the visually impaired. The major one being a screen reading software. A screen reading software is a computer program that converts anything that comes on the computer screen visually to speech or braille so that a blind person could access it in the same way like any other person does by seeing the screen. In fact, it was my exposure to this assistive technology that really bolstered my belief of becoming a successful software professional. I thought that, it's because of this assistive technology that I'm able to access computers independently. It means that tomorrow, if I get a job in this field, I would also be independent in performing my duties at work. I also thought that by being in technology, I would be able to innovate more solutions which would transform the lives of many other people with the power of technology, just the way this technology is helping me today. And hence, I decided to pursue my journey of becoming a software engineer. This journey wasn't a bed of roses either. I completed my class 10 with flying colors. And when I approached different coaching institutes to prepare me for pursuing my studies in class 11, 12 in the science stream, nobody would accept me. Nobody could believe that a blind student could study math and science. As a result, I had to take a step back. I pursued commerce in my class 11 and 12. And again, I ended up at the top of my class. I was amongst the top 3 in the Mumbai district as well. Because I did well in mathematics in class 12, I was accepted into the Bachelor's of Science in Information Technology program at the University of Mumbai. Again, this was a path less traveled. No blind student before me had ever pursued a STEM degree at the University of Mumbai, which meant that there was no accessible study material available for me.
Can you hear me, miss? Hello, miss.
Spend hours and hours scanning all my textbooks, fixing the OCR errors, typing out all the hard copy notes, just so that I could read what I had to study. I ended up spending 80% of my time just making the study material accessible, and only 20% of my time went into actually preparing for the exams. However, strength lies in fighting against all the odds and yet achieving the peak. I topped all the semesters at college, and I also stood fourth at the university level at the end of the program.
Anjali, what?
I also went on to pursue my master's in information technology in a similar way. However, when it came to finding employment, I again faced a lot of skepticism. All the top IT companies that came on campus to place students wouldn't even allow me to sit for interviews, just because they'd never seen a program in their life. As a result, again, I had to take a different path. I started my career at a tech startup in Mumbai, which basically built a data center security solution. I worked there for about 5 years, starting as a software engineer, and when I quit in 2018, Like they say that there's a silver lining to every dark cloud. My work with this startup got me interested in cybersecurity, and I decided to pursue it as a specialization in my career. I applied to top cybersecurity programs in the United States, and I was finally accepted to the Georgia Institute of Technology Masters in Cybersecurity program. And hence, in August 2018, I moved to the United States.
What you say, auntie?
My journey in the United States was very different than in India. In India, I had a lot of family support. Here, I had nobody to read out my books. I had nobody to help me get to my classes. And hence, this became more of a journey of independence. The university support kicked in and they provided me accommodations like mobility training to learn my routes using a white cane to all the buildings where my classes would be conducted. They also gave me pick up and drop facility from my housing to the college campus. The cherry on the cake was that all the study material in the United States is electronic by default, and most of the exams are also conducted on the computer. Hence, I was no longer constrained by the abilities of my scribe, and my performance in the exam reflected exactly what I knew. I graduated from Georgia Tech with a 4.0 GPA and lots of self-confidence. After graduating in December 2019, I started working at Microsoft as a data and applied scientist, and I continue to work over there. I work with their security response team where I build machine learning and AI-based solutions to help Microsoft fight all the bad hackers and make the world more digitally safe and secure. Through my journey, what I can say is that do not hesitate to dream big. Dream as big as you can, however improbable, impossible the realization of that dream looks to you right now. And after you dream big, do not hesitate to take that first step towards your goal. Had I not taken the first step of moving out of India and coming to a faraway country where I barely knew anybody, I wouldn't have realized my dream of working as a software engineer at a big tech giant like Microsoft. So dream big, do not hesitate to take the first step, do not hesitate to get out of your comfort zone, and remember that nothing is impossible. You just have to find a different way to do it. Thank you so much for inviting me again, and all the best to everybody for your future.
A light blue background with a dark blue oval in the center with text within it. At the top, text in white says Empower to Rise 2021 and then in orange by Rising Flame. Below are Rising Flame's website and social media links. Web risingflame.org, Instagram risingflame_now, Twitter Rising Flame Now, Facebook Rising Flame Now. On the right of the text is a majestic phoenix bird emerging from flames in orange, red, and yellow at the bottom.
Just a second. I'm just going to spotlight our other interpreter. We have next with us today another fabulous speaker, somebody who has worked with Rising Flame in the past, and we are really excited to have her with us. Paritha Dholakia is a health communicator. She started losing her hearing from age 19 and currently is a late deafened adult. She has a condition called osteogenesis imperfecta, a rare brittle bone disorder that has led to around 23 fractures till the age of 13. She works towards promoting healthcare equity and is an accessibility tech crusader. More often than not, she is one of the least confident people in the room. We're really excited to have Paritha here with us and for her to share her journey. And
thank you so much, Srinidhi, for that welcome. And I'm really excited to be here today. And if I can see a raised hand for all the least confident people in the room, hello. So, good afternoon, everyone. I hope this volume is fine. and you can hear me quite well because I'm wearing, invisible noise cancelling headphones wherein I can't hear what I am speaking or how loud or, slow I am. That's how being deaf is. You cannot hear what you are speaking. Only when I'm shouting at my husband, I definitely know that I am loud. So I hope this volume is fine. Yeah, I'm also a little low on energy because I have been detected with COVID recently. In fact, today I got my test done. So after getting all the vaccine shots, but I'm better and I did not want to miss this opportunity to connect with all of you. All right. So first of all, thank you so much, Rising Flame, to give me this chance to speak with all of you. And also, I want to start off by saying that today I'm going to narrate a few parts of my life experiences of what I have been through and where I've come till now so far, and also give you some instances of some, incredible moments that actually left a deep impact and something that, keeps coming back, keeps like a flashback, and you're like, okay, this is maybe what the moment that changed my life. So I was born as a blue baby, given 24 hours to survive, and the doctors were like, mostly she will not make it. But at that point in time, I made those first 24 hours, and I think that was the first battle that I had to fight for the numerous more to follow. I have had my first fracture at the age of 3 when I was racing with my older sister for a nightly dose of iron supplement, and bang, I had a fall. I broke my bone. From then till the age of 13, I broke almost most of my bones almost 23 times, and I have undergone like 7 to 8 surgeries to insert metal rods, screws, and whatnot. As Srinidhi mentioned, I have osteogenesis imperfecta, which is a rare brittle bone disorder. Right? For me, going to the hospital was very common. Every time I visit, the security guard used to be like, "Ab kaun sa haddi toota hai? Which bone have you broken now?" Or, like we had landlines back then, and if we did not pick up the landline at home, my dad will call the hospital because to ask if I was admitted there. Because when I was a kid, there are just two places where I could be, home or the hospital. Yeah, and many of you have congenital issues will relate to that. So you can imagine that school childhood was a very difficult part. In fact, I hardly attended school. I think only in the 6th standard, for the first time, I attended all the days of the academic year. Fortunately, my mom homeschools kids, so I could take notes of what is happening in the class, and I stayed up to date. I was a good student, and my school was quite accommodative. I have given exams sitting in staff rooms with plasters on my legs, and passed those exams. But I hardly had any friends in school. I could not play with them. I could not connect with them. I'll just appear from the class any day, just there. And the teachers kept warning them that, you need to be careful and tender towards this girl because she can break the bone anytime. So people maintain that distance with me. I specifically also remember one instance in 10th standard when the principal of the school had called me and she said, "Do you want to file your SSC nomination form in the disabled category?" I was quite confident and I said, "No, I don't want to do that." Primarily because, till that point in time, never have my parents treated me any different or, made me feel that I have a different life, have different challenges or anything like that. They treated me the same as my siblings. They never made me an outlier in any group. And also because my orthopedic surgeon had assured me that by the time I turned 15, 16, my bones would have gained strength and I would be okay, So I had that hope that, okay, after my 10th, now that I've turned 15, I've not broken a bones in so many years, I would be okay, OI is a part of past. Of course, there are two other things that are lifelong that OI has left me with. One is that I have a limp when I walk. One of the time when I had broken my thigh bone, they did not heal correctly. They healed with a curve because of which my one leg is shorter than the other. But that is there lifelong. And also I have a very bad tooth structure. I keep on chipping my tooth even when I use something as simple as a candy floss. So these are the two things that were there, are there, and I had accepted it. Like, okay, I can, do this, and I could be okay. Similar to most students with too much of life, hope for life after 16, I would goodbye to school and look forward to have a normal next phase of life. But hello, osteogenesis imperfecta treated me again in the form of hearing loss. There's too much of ossification inside my hearing canals. I've tried surgeries, failed at them, lost hearing in 1 year due to surgical complications. I think I was almost from the age of 19 that I started suffering from hearing loss. While I was doing my bachelor's in pharmacy in Mumbai, I started experiencing reduced hearing. I did not know what is happening to me. The teachers were wondering why am I not responding, and I was there wondering why am I not listening to them, right? I remember this one situation very well. We have this viva where an external validator comes and asks you questions. Oh, she was so mad at me during a viva round. She was like literally fuming at me in front of the whole class, saying that why are you asking me to repeat the question? Is it because you do not know the answer or because you are not hearing the question? That was like one of the first moments.
Marita, 1 second. The interpreters are asking you to speak a little louder and slightly slower.
Okay, sure. Is this volume okay? Okay, all right. All right, so do you want me to repeat anything?
Just your last line and then we can start again.
Okay, sure. So the external validator kept on asking me if, I'm asking her to repeat the question because I'm not listening to her or because I do not know the answer. Yeah. Well, that was one of the first such moment of shame for me where I did not know how to react. I eventually went and explained to my teachers that I am facing this situation. This is a new developed situation. Please help me out. And there are things that I heard like it is all in my brain. My hearing is not at all impairing my learning. It's all in my brain. And that was the first time actually that I had gone out and spoken with someone about my hearing loss. Okay. I'm sorry, my voice is... Okay, no problem. Yeah. So when I spoke to my teacher, that was the first time I went and spoke to someone about my hearing loss. And the comment that she made me realize that I'm going to have a very ugly battle to fight and something that maybe I have to do on my own. A lot of things changed for me with this development of hearing loss, right from, connecting with people, attending group meetings. I was the cultural secretary of my college at that point in time. I used to participate in plays and dramas and everything. Everything reduced, just stopped. Because somewhere my confidence got affected. I did not know how to react to this completely new territory. What I did not lose was the ability to complete my dreams. I had plans to do my master's in US and I continued with those plans. And I really would be thankful to my parents for that because they ensured that whatever I have planned or dreamed, I continue on that path. They had that faith in me. And their faith and support mattered a lot. Right? So there I was in US, Boston, studying in this university, a fresh new take for hard of hearing person and facing this invisible disability. As Aditi mentioned, I was in a country that provides a lot of accommodations, that is providing a lot of accessible solutions. I could have got a note taker. I did not speak. I did not reveal that I have a hearing issue. There was a large part of me that was shy, which would be covered with my hair, and I did not have to tell anyone that I am not listening. And I thought I'm doing well. But students in general, in an international country with new accents, new things, new workload, they are facing a lot of pressure. To add on to that, I had also to face this whole unspoken disability to deal with. So I wish I had tried to reach out for help at the right time. Help was available. As you are aware that my hearing loss is progressive. So with passing time, it has kept on increasing, and today it's almost down to 0. I did not inform any of them for my job, whether to inform the interviewer about my hearing problem. Should I write it in my CV that I have an issue? Should I tell them during the last round of the interview? I did not have anyone to ask. I took stress at job interviews, at meeting new people, interacting with bosses. Every day was a stress. While work ability is all that does matter, what also went wrong eventually had me split into 2 people. One was the normal person that every employee sees, the jovial one, the one who doesn't always answer the questions asked, but one who is happy and does her job well. And the other person, the one who is silently suffering and silently stressing herself each day. Each day during lunchtime, she's worried that she will have to go and join her colleagues and have lunch with them and talk to them in a noisy environment. That person also had to rush the face of the speaker. She dreaded office parties and making presentations because she was always worried that she would not hear the questions asked from the end of the room. I get severe tinnitus when I deal with such kind of stress. And more than 70% of my days, every day, I sleep with heavy ringing in my ears. But I added this stress to my own life because I did not reveal my problems. And because I thought that with the hearing aid, I'm fine and normal, I can make it. I think that was quite wrong. I should have accepted it at the right time. Almost 8 to 9 years ago, with the progressive nature of my condition, I was in a situation where I was dreading my career aspects, my aspirations, how I'm going to climb the corporate ladder, how it would affect me, my future life. But I did not know whom to reach out to. What I have done is, I've literally sent cold emails on LinkedIn to D&I leaders, influencers, and tried to ask for help. I've tried to get more clarity on the situation. And in the process, I have made some great friends, some great mentors, and I actually got a chance to be a part of some deaf and hearing, hard of hearing community. It feels awesome to be able to do that. Yes, but I wish I would have done that earlier, because reaching out to the community at the right time for support really matters. It does boost your confidence. At my current organization, I work in a pharma company in Mumbai since the last 7 years now. And I still remember the first time I revealed to my manager that I am facing this situation. His first reaction was all like, "Oh, no wonder you do not hear us when we call you from the back." How he always thought that I am absent-minded or arrogant to ignore calls and certain comments. Yeah, I did not know that this image has been formed about me. But had I not revealed, maybe a lot more would have got lost in translation. Typically, my day at work involves a lot of meetings, presentations, connecting with different stakeholders. And people who are aware of my situation are amazed with the way things are being worked out. Sometimes I amaze myself too. But how I do that is I rely a lot on written communication. Right? I leverage the available technology, software that provide live captions, hardware, there are certain hardware that you can collect voice from all the speakers in the room and transcribe it for you. My team, my company has been accommodative. Like if I'm in a meeting along with them, they will put it in the chat box that Sarita, this question is directed to you. Or, when the managing director or other directors of the organization joins a meeting with me, they turn on their videos to ensure that I can see their lip movements. These are small gestures, but they can help me a lot. Right? Definitely there is a lot more that they can do. And all this is going a long way. But for them too, it's an uncharted territory. Like they too have never dealt with an employee like you. Okay. Organizations today are talking about D&I, are talking about empathy. But I strongly believe that inclusiveness is incomplete if we are not talking about the disabled community too. According to a recent report for D&I, but out of these 90%, only 4% are talking including disability in these conversations. That has to change. And that change, talking about accessibility, it has to be an equity that has to provide the same benefit. Whatever part of the country we are in, you cannot board a train in Kerala, which has a ramp for a wheelchair, and get down at Mumbai, which has none. It has to be a two-way thing. If I'm booking an Uber cab, I get to know if the driver is there, but the driver doesn't get to know if the passenger is there. And yet they keep calling me, where do you want to go? And I'm like, dude, I'm not listening your question. Why are you asking? But that has to change, and that change has to come with you and I. But yes, there is a lot of support that is available, but we have to reach out and find out how we can go around that. One thing that the recent COVID situation has brought in is a lot of new terms and new lingo. The one that I do not like is unprecedented. But the one that I really like is new normal. New normal stands for hope. New normal stands for adaptability and shows that people are ready to change as the situation demands. So I think for all of us, it should be that let's make an inclusive and exclusive, accessible society the new normal. Thank you. And congratulations to whoever is winning the fellowship today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Parita, for such an insightful, honest, and deeply vulnerable conversation. It was really moving for all of us to listen, but I think so relatable for so many of us who had disabilities that tend to change over a period of time, that are fluid, that are not stable, right? And I think that says a lot for all of us, and there's so much learning in your journey for us. But I think importantly, the wisdom that you have shared also speaks so much about the fact that we need to find that community, right? And what that community facilitates for us often is so much more than just access needs, right? And really glad to have you here, and thank you so much for sharing your journey. Next, we have with us today Rishabh. I'm just going to read his brief bio. And like we say about all our speakers, their bios are small and brief and don't encompass the diverse human beings that they are and all of their interests. So but we read bios just for us to understand. Rishabh Birla is a technical analyst in cybersecurity technology consulting at ENY. He lives in Thane, Maharashtra with his parents and Sophie, his canine companion. He went to school at Singhania School in Thane, studied BA Political Science at St. Xavier's College, Mumbai, and did his MA in International Business Management from Middlesex University, Dubai. His interests are wildlife, mental health, disability rights, and autism. Since he got self-diagnosed in 2018 and then professionally diagnosed in 2019, he has been advocating about mental health and disability on Instagram and WhatsApp stories. Such a pleasure to have you here with us today, Rishabh, and over to you.
Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you so much, Rising Flame, to give me this opportunity to share my experience as well as my journey. I'm 25. I'm Rishabh Birla. I'm 25 years old. I'm a disabled, neurodivergent, and autistic individual from Thane. My journey with disability is a long one, challenging, as well has been an emotional roller coaster. I had a difficult childbirth and a mild delay of developmental milestones, especially speech. Since I was 2.5 years old, I had undergone numerous psychological, neurological tests at various institutes, and I was found to have poor eye-hand coordination, delayed speech, for which I went into intensive occupation therapy as well as speech therapy till the age of 9-10 years of age. Because of these differences, I could not play group games which involved physical sports. Every day afternoon after nursery as well as school, my parents used to take me to speech therapy or occupation therapy. Hence, I had no or little interaction with my peers in early childhood. During nursery time, I could not speak with my peers due to delayed as well as lack of clear speech. So I could not make friends. In nursery, I could not do storytelling or reciting poems which other kids could do. Due to delayed speech, I had difficulty in getting admission to schools and needed a medical certificate. But fortunately, I got admission in Singhania School. In primary schooling, I had academic challenges. I could not cope up with studies. Hence, teachers and classmates used to ridicule me and call me dumb, lazy, and much more ableist comments. In secondary section, number of subjects and the syllabus became more intensive. I could not copy notes from the blackboard and my handwriting was illegible. I jumbled lots of words and did spelling mistakes. In mathematics, simple calculations were also hard for me. My parents used to come to school every day to copy the notes from other students' notebooks. Because of this, I was discriminated by teachers and classmates, leading to low self-esteem. At the age of 11, 12, I underwent a battery of tests at various centers around Mumbai and later got diagnosed with learning disability at the age of 12. Due to my parents' efforts, school started a child learning and developmental center for children with learning differences, which was not there previously. Because of my early diagnosis, I got provisions like extra time during my exams, writer and reader for my exams, calculator for mathematics, etc. Diagnosis of LD, learning disability, and associated concessions it made my academic life more easy. I could score good marks, but because of my differences, because of my disability, I was teased and bullied by my classmates. Due to undiagnosed autism back then, I was gullible, so hence I was taken advantage of my classmates. In order for me to make more friends, my parents used to organize birthday parties, small gatherings, small get-togethers, but it didn't work out. I had a special interest in biology, history, geography, and could perform exceedingly well. But mathematics, languages, physics, and chemistry was tough. In 9th and 10th grade, I was able to omit mathematics and science and took environmental science and commercial studies respectively. Due to hard work, support of my parents and few teachers, and most importantly, the principal, I could pass 10th board with 94%. Science and commerce stream were out of question, so I took arts in St. Hills College, Mumbai. I got admission on merit. My social difficulties were pronounced in college atmosphere as I could not connect to my peers. I couldn't learn street smartness. I was treated like a child by teachers and classmates alike. I'm sorry. Okay. I used to have frequent breakdowns in school and college where I used to hide in bathroom or in corner. Since school and college days, my parents used to take me to mental health counseling. Everybody, including mental health professionals, were hell-bent on fixing my disability and mental health by an ableist mindset. During later period of college, I got sincerely interested in wildlife, so I started attending zoology lectures. I was excellent in zoology in spite of being in arts stream. Though I would go to bird watching and wildlife outings frequently, I could not connect to the people due to my social and processing differences. Being political science as a favorite subject, I graduated BA in 2017 in spite of academic hiccups. I wanted to make a career in wildlife, so I started volunteering with different NGOs. I could not pursue due to social communication differences. During this period, I happened to meet a friend of my parents who became my mentor, and they all encouraged me to pursue an MBA degree from abroad. So I did my master's from Middlesex University, Dubai. I stayed there for almost a year in hostel without my parents. That is when I realized I have drastic social communication differences. There I started reading about mental health, neurodiversity, autism. In spite of multiple visits to various health professionals, I remained undiagnosed professionally. I self-diagnosed myself with autism after my own intensive research, which was later confirmed by mental health professionals. Getting an autism diagnosis at the age of 23 was a turning point in my life. I consider my autism diagnosis a rebirth. I got answer for all my differences, challenges, struggles since my childhood. In university, back at Dubai, my parents had to frequently visit Dubai as I had many mental breakdowns. My university life was also challenging, but I got fortunately support from few friends and professors who used to help me academically and socially. As I have an invisible disability, no one would believe me, and I was labeled as awkward, weird, lazy, stubborn boy up to this date. After completing my master's, I came back to India, and my mentor gave me an opportunity to work in marketing position in a startup. In that job, that involved talking with many people which autistic people have challenges with. There was one senior I could not get along as she could not understand my disability and support needs in spite of disclosing to her. During this period, I did a vocation course to develop my skill set with an organization who works with people with disabilities, where I got introduced to applying a job at EY, which was for neurodivergent people. In spite of not having a background in IT, I could get in due to my intelligence, good mannerism, and curiosity. Currently, I'm working at home, so this is a boon to me. So I don't need to travel in crowded local trains or navigate complex social situations in workplace. My brain needs instructions in anything in a clear, concise, stepwise manner, which neurotypicals find it hard. Hence, even though my co-workers in EY are trying to help me a lot, I'm not able to complete the task appropriately. But as EY is slowly understanding my challenges, and as for them, it's also an uncharted territory. As a disabled individual, I'm also helping them to understand, and they are also helping me to work. As I'm going adult, my expectations as well as of my society are not getting fulfilled. Hence, I get frequent bouts of depression as well as trauma. Still, if I understands and gives me time and space to process things and work at my ease. I haven't thought of as an disabled individual. I haven't thought of like I'll be doing my master's, I'll be completing my schooling, I'll be have a good job. I would like to thank people believing in me. My journey of 25 years isn't easy, but believing in yourself and close people believing in you makes a lots of difference. The journey is hard. The journey is hard. It will be difficult. As I say, it is a mixed journey of thorns as well as soft lawn. I wish my autism diagnosis could have been made early and back in childhood. I'm grateful to people who have been part of my life and helped me where I am today. Thank you.
Thank you, Rishabh, for sharing your journey and for sharing some of the difficult challenges and how you navigated through that, and learning about yourself and what that means in a world that often prescribes a certain way of being and of responding to our personalities, etc. So thank you for sharing that. I'm sure it is valuable for many of us, and it is great to have you here. So thank you so much. So we've come to the next part of our of our event, uh, the part where we announce our fellows. But before we do that, we have a small video which explains this journey of Empower to Rise, why we chose this event, why we chose this this idea, like what was the thinking behind our formation of a fellowship program for youth with disabilities, and just for us to see what has the journey been like, where did we start and where are we now. And we have a short video that is captioned, so we'll just leave the sign language interpreter pinned so you can see them on the side if need be. Yeah, so I'm just going to share my screen for us to watch the video together.
Blue background with a dark blue oval in the center with text within it. At the top, text in orange says, Rising Flame Presents. Below in white, Empower to Rise 2021. And then in orange again, a fellowship for youth with disabilities. On the right of the text is a majestic phoenix bird emerging from flames in orange, red and yellow at the bottom.
Hello everyone, I am Nidhi Goyal. I am the founder and executive director of Rising Flame. Rising Flame is a non-profit based in India, and we work towards rights of people with disabilities, particularly women and youth with disabilities. We're a self-led team, by which I mean we comprise of women and non-binary persons living with disabilities, chronic illnesses and other conditions themselves. We work towards the larger vision, a larger vision of having equal opportunities and access for all, of building and creating a safe and enabling environment, and absolutely working towards and achieving social integration. And we work towards this larger aim through 3 layers or levels: igniting individual transformation, working towards community change, and influencing ecosystems to alter them. Well, what we want is that persons with disabilities, particularly those standing at intersections, are heard, are seen, have the space and the voice, and can lead from the front. And this is where youth come in. Young people with disabilities, of course, have dreams, just like anyone else. They have the will and the potential to grow and to lead. But something stops them. What are those things, and what really stops them? What stops them is social mindsets, inaccessible infrastructure, and exclusionary systems and practices. Let me tell you a story of my life. When I was in college, pursuing my undergraduation, post-graduation, I remember a few things around that time. That my parents had to buy a scanner so that I could scan my books, convert them, and then make them accessible for me so that I, as a blind woman, could access them. While all other non-disabled students simply had the right and the ease to have a library card and access all the wonderful books over there. I remember calling up these friends from the community and saying, hey, can you please share the crack of this software, which costs around 40 to 50,000, and I'm a student who's not earning. But I really need this software because that would help me operate the computer independently. The list could go on and on. But I remember, and I concluded a few things from that period, that I did not read as many books as I would have liked to then. I didn't have enough free time like other non-disabled peers of mine had. But lastly, and the most important thing, was that I learned that if I had to pursue education as a disabled young person, the onus somehow, the system somehow put the onus on me to make this happen. And this is what we want to change. We want to change this because we want young persons with disabilities to have the access to opportunities and resources. And therefore, we have launched Empower to Rise Fellowship. This is an annual program an annual program that provides support to young people with disabilities pursuing education in one form or the other, and who are working really, really hard to achieve their goals and to fulfill their dreams. Inaccessibility does put a pressure and an added burden on students with disabilities, and that's what was reported to us when we were collecting data for our published research, Neglected and Forgotten. It captures the impact of the COVID crisis. You know, students told us that digital classrooms were inaccessible, be it the platform, be it the study material that was provided, be it the participation in class, which lacked any kind of captioning or interpretation. Students across disabilities had something to say around the inaccessible environment and the barriers to education. And so Empower to Rise Fellowship was conceived to provide two kinds of support to young students with disabilities. One, of financial support of rupees 50,000 to each fellow, and two, an individual mentor who would work with them for 6 months, who would guide them and walk with them on the path to success. We opened the call for application and responses started pouring in. It was overwhelming. It was heartening and heartwarming, both. It was heartening to see the kinds of support that students were asking for and how much support was needed. Students across disabilities, across genders, across geographies were sending an application.
A light blue background with a dark blue oval in the center with text within it. At the top, text in orange says, 52 applications from young people between 16 to 25 years with diverse disabilities. Below is a bulleted text in white. Blind and low vision, deaf and hard of hearing, speech disabilities, locomotor disabilities, cerebral palsy, intellectual disabilities, developmental disabilities, psychosocial disabilities, multiple disabilities. Next to the text is a majestic phoenix bird emerging from flames in orange, red, and yellow at the bottom. A light blue background with a dark blue oval in the center with text and graphs within it. On the left is text in orange, geographical location. Below is a pie chart that indicates the following data. Rural 13%, urban and semi-urban 87%. On the right is text in orange, gender. Below is a pie chart that indicates the following data. Men 59%, women 35%, gender not specified 6%. Next to the text is a majestic phoenix bird emerging from flames in orange, red, and yellow at the bottom.
And the applications were pouring in English, in Hindi, in sign language, and audiovisual formats. And what did we do then? We went through a rigorous and a very difficult internal shortlisting process. And then we simply went to the experts, to our esteemed jury of 3 members. Parmesh Shahani, Vice President, Godrej Industries, and founder of the award-winning Godrej India Culture Lab. Rahul Bajaj, Senior Resident Fellow, Vidhi Center for Legal Policy and Rhodes Scholar, Oxford University. Amba Salalkar, Bridge CRPD SDG Officer, Capacity Building Unit, International Disability Alliance.
Hi, this is Parmesh. I'm part of the jury for the Empower to Rise Awards by Rising Flame. Amba, Rahul, Nidhi, the entire Rising Flame team and me have just gone through one of the most incredibly difficult judging sessions. Each application for these awards has been so special. We've been so moved hearing about the stories of courage and resilience from disabled youth across the country, and it's been very, very hard to choose just a few winners. Everyone who applied has such an incredibly powerful narrative, and we know that we can only award a few winners, but we hope that this award galvanizes a lot more of you to have confidence and faith in your own self. And I hope that everyone who's seeing this actually comes out and supports more initiatives like Empower to Rise, so that Rising Flame in years to come can create more and more of such awards to empower more and more incredibly talented disabled youth across the country to reach their whole potential. So Nidhi and team, thank you so much for including me as part of the jury. It's been one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Lots and lots of love to everyone who participated, all the winners, and all of you.
It was an honor to get the opportunity to judge the Empower to Rise competition. I was completely blown away by the sheer diversity, ambition, and stories of the 18 candidates whose profiles we had to study and make a decision on. They reminded me, many of them reminded me of a somewhat younger version of myself when I was in college, determined to break down barriers and defy all odds. I'm confident that with youth with disabilities like these, India's disability movement has a bright future in store.
One of the things that struck me as a panelist to decide the ultimate beneficiaries of the Empower to Rise program is the fact that we have youth with disabilities, the future of the movement, the future of the country, who are still struggling for basic statutory rights, accessibility of learning materials, accessibility of college campuses, of assistive devices or access to assistive devices. And to me, that underlines the fact that as the disability movement goes, we really need to ensure that the laws that many of us fought for, the conventions, the protocols, all need to be in place, and in effect needs to be available for everyone, because this is what this program sought to do was go beyond the minimum that people were able to do. But it appears that even those thresholds are not being met, and that's something that I am concerned with. But I'm also really delighted to see that the youth is so vibrant and look forward to what they have to accomplish. Thank you.
And we finally have our 3 Empower to Rise 2021 fellows. And we are hoping that their journeys contribute to systemic, social, and holistic inclusion for them and for all others.
A light blue background with a dark blue oval in the center with text within it. At the top, text in white says Empower to Rise 2021 and then in orange by Rising Flame. Below are Rising Flame's website and social media links. Web risingflame.org, Instagram risingflame_now, Twitter Rising Flame Now, Facebook Rising Flame Now. On the right of the text is a majestic phoenix bird emerging from flames in orange, red, and yellow at the bottom.
Hello, just 1 second, let me just in our next interpreter, and yeah. Okay, this is, thank you for watching the video, and I'm just going to introduce our jury member, Mr. Parmesh Shahani, who's here, and he will announce our winners for today. And we are very excited to have each of our winners join us today. And so I'm just going to, and over to you, Parmesh.
Thank you, Srinidhi. I love seeing that video, and I'm also excited to meet our winners today. Love seeing Nidhi on the video. And also thanks Aditi, Parita, and Rishabh. It was so good listening to you over the past 1 hour and your stories. And as I just mentioned on the video just now, it was really my good fortune to serve on this jury. And it was really very difficult to select just 3 out of the 52 applicants that approached us, and they all contained so many multitudes in terms of representation of disabilities, gender, geography. And so for all those watching this, this presentation, please help support the next iteration of the Rising Flame Fellowship so that we can award more and more awards to those that are necessary and continue this, this good work. So all 52 applicants were absolutely amazing, but we had to select just 3. And the 3 fellows that we chose stood out for us due to their sheer drive and ability in the face of so many challenges and disadvantages. 2 of the 3 young people that we have selected have come from small towns and made their way to bigger cities for their studies. Each one is living with a different disability, but what blew us at the jury away was their determination and perseverance that just was shining through all their applications. And they really exemplify Rising Flame's ethos of just thriving despite all the injustices that are perpetuated by a hostile world. So each of these fellows has gone through very overwhelming odds, but has chosen to follow their passions and pursue their vocation in extremely competitive fields. They're all already on the way to achieving their dreams, and we hope that this support will make their journeys a little easier, lighter, and faster. And we hope that, like the logo of our Rising Flame Phoenix, each of these blazes a trail that makes it easier for others to follow. So everyone, this is the moment that you've all been waiting for, announcing Rising Flames Empower to Rise Fellows for 2021. I'll make drum rolls. And, Nishant, I want to see how you do drum rolls. Oh, awesome. Drum rolls. And our fellows, our Empower to Rise fellows are Anya. Welcome. Mansi Tyagi. Congratulations, Mansi. And Shireen Sultana. All of you, we are so proud of you. Congratulations to the Rising Flame Empower to Rise Fellows for 2021. Everyone, please show them your love and please follow their journeys. And of course, please reach out to Rising Flame and support all the good work that Rising Flame is doing. Srinidhi, back to you. Lots of love, everyone.
Once if you can turn on your camera, then we can spotlight you. Please, you will have to turn it on for this moment. We have a little bit, a few details for about each of our winners, which we will share with you now, because I think before we hand it over to each of them to tell us a little bit about themselves, we're just going to share a small presentation that we have put together of our, just a second. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to put it on full screen so everybody can see. So our Empower to Rise 2021 fellows are Aranya. Yeah. I'm just going to read the image description for each of the listings. On a light blue background with Rising Flame logo at the top. Below are 5 white stars in white in a semicircle. Below in a semicircle, text in white says Empower to Rise 2021 Fellows. In the center of the semicircle is a golden badge. On the bottom is another string of 5 stars in a semicircle. Light blue background with the second image. Light blue background with Rising Flame logo in the bottom right corner. On the top, red color text says Empower to Rise 2021. And you can see the full image now. Empower to Rise 2021 fellows. Below towards the left is a square photo of a young person, Aranya, in a blue colored kurta with black headphones posing before a mic. They have a mustache and sports black framed glasses. On the right, between two strings of stars in semicircle, is the text Aranya. Below their photo, text in black says, a 22-year-old from Kolkata, West Bengal, Aranya, is studying at Rabindra Bharati University, Calcutta School of Music. They have autism spectrum condition. They like to introduce themselves as a neurodiverse person. These are a few quotes that we collected from each of our winners. On a light blue background with Rising Flame logo in the bottom right corner, on the top left side of the page is a square photo of a man, Aranya, in a blue colored kurta with black headphones posing before a mic. He has a mustache and sports black framed glasses. On the top right is a yellow quote mark below which in text in black says, I want to make more and more experiments with music, combining tunes from different countries and different genres. Music is my sixth sense and it is my language. I have problems with communicating with other people, and music is the only way through which I can convey my feelings. Aranya, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, I would say. Actually, first of all, I would say I thank you all. I'm really grateful to you that you have understood me. I am so thankful to you, all of you present here, for this wonderful opportunity. This is a landmark opportunity for me, and I hope it will help me to fulfill my dream. I'm really overwhelmed today. I'm Aranya from Kolkata. I'm in the audience spectrum, and I call myself a neurodiverse person. People like me have many disadvantages, and I have faced bullying and discrimination too. But I have also seen people who understand love and help. And you know what? I love music, and I also have a bit of communication problem. But music is like my sixth sense, and I can convey my feelings with music. I wish to pursue music as my career. Hey, am I audible?
Yes.
Did you hear what I said in the beginning?
Everything.
Okay. I'll just continue. Okay. I would like to pursue music as my career. Actually, I have a small home studio, and I think I'm right now sitting in there only, the home studio where I do most of my work, and it's a bit of decorated with my instruments behind them. Okay. Actually, I have a small home studio. And I hope to purchase some software and musical instruments. I want to entertain people with my music and express myself through music. But I really don't know how to go ahead professionally. So I am flooded with hope as you are providing me the opportunity of getting a mentor who will guide me. I think that can change my life. I am highly moved. Thank you so much. My gratitude. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aranya. I am going to share briefly once again your the screen for everybody to see. Aranya, who's one of the winners. Yeah. Thank you so much, Aranya, and congratulations. We are
thank you so much.
Very excited to have you as one of our first fellows. And now I would request Mansi Tyagi to turn on her camera and her turn on her camera and her mic. We will briefly share about Mansi while she gets her camera and mic ready. Yeah. Terika, could you read the image?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, great. Light blue background with Rising Flame logo in the bottom right corner. On the top, red colored text says Empower to Rise 2021 Fellows. Below, towards the left, is a square black and white photo of a young person, Mansi Tyagi, in a top with flowers on it. She has her hair tied back in a pony and is standing tall as she smiles. She's wearing a pair of glasses with a black frame. On the right, between two strings of stars in semicircles, is the text Mansi Tyagi. Below the photo is text in black saying a 21-year-old from Muradnagar, Uttar Pradesh, Mansi Tyagi is visually impaired. She has studied history and political science at Miranda House.
The next one.
Light blue background with Rising Flame logo in the bottom right corner. On the top left side of the page is a square. Sorry, I'm reading the same thing again. I'm sorry. Below, towards the left, is a square photo of a young person, Shireen Sultana, as sits on a red sofa. She is wearing a red kurta and a black salwar and has a multicolored dupatta on her head as she looks into the camera with a slight smile. On the right, between two strings of stars in semicircles, is the text Shireen Sultana. Below the photo is text in black saying a 23-year-old from Hojai, Assam, Shireen Sultana lives with multiple chronic conditions causing disability. She is in her 4th year studying biology at IISER, Kolkata.
Okay, Mansi, can you briefly join us so that you can speak? Just a second. Yeah. Over to you, Mansi.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah.
Yes, you're audible, Mansi.
Okay. So, hello everybody, I'm Mansi Tyagi. And first of all, I want to say a huge thanks to Rising Flame for considering me capable for this fellowship. And I'm very delighted and can't express joy in the world. So the scholarship provided by Rising Flame will be very useful for me into my studies. Like I want to become a professor of political science, and I can use this money in my studies, like buying different books and other equipments required me in my studies. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mansi. You see a couple of quotes taken from Mansi about her journey and what she wants from the world. Janika?
Yes. In 5 years from now, I see myself as an assistant professor with a PhD in political science. My goals are determined by my will and are not affected by what others will think.
Thank you, Mansi. And over to our last, but not the least, our fellow, Empower to Rise fellow, Shireen Sultana. I'm just going to share we are just going to share a little bit about Shireen, and then we can have Shireen speak to us. Terika?
Yes. A 25-year-old from Hojai, Assam, Shireen Sultana lives with multiple chronic conditions causing disability. She is in her 4th year studying biology at IISER, Kolkata.
And 2 quotes from Shireen before we... Yeah. Terika, can you read the image?
Yes. After a master's degree in biology, I look forward to pursuing a PhD in the same subject. Academia is an inaccessible place for people like me, but I am hoping I can pursue studying what I love.
I dream of an accessible Indian academia, and I would do my best to solve the current inaccessibility problems.
Congratulations, Shireen, and we are so excited to have you as one of our fellows. Would you like to say a few words? You're on mute. Oh, is it? Done.
Hello. Thank you so much, everyone, for finding me worthy of this fellowship program. I'm so happy. Today, I'm not going to tell you about the sad stories, but I'm actually very warm and happy listening to everyone telling about what they have done. So, about me, I'm Shireen. I'm a student in fourth year studying biology. I love it very much, but though I love biology, I'm passionate about the accessibility problems that people like me face in pursuing lab work. So the lab isn't a very welcoming place for me, and still I haven't figured out how to make it more accessible, but I'm trying my best to do it. Thank you.
And excited, and we are really glad to have you here with us and for this journey that has just begun for you. It gives me absolute and complete pleasure to have with us our founder and executive director to say a few words before we wrap up this launch event. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ranadi. First of all, congratulations. Many congratulations to our three winners, Aranya, Mansi, and Shireen. Thank you for really sharing your stories with us. Thank you for trusting us with your vulnerability, with your dreams, with your life, really realities, and with trusting us with that care that we would take this information, work with it, and work with you to be the support system or work with you on your path to achieving your dreams. So thank you, and what fabulous fortune for us that you are our very first Empower to Rise 2021 fellows. So congratulations once again, and so happy to be a small part of your life and journey as Rising Flame, as Nidhi, as an individual, as a woman with a disability myself, as someone from the community. Okay, I'm going to pause because the interpreter has asked for a switch.
I have switched already.
Great. I do want to reiterate what one of our jury members, Parmesh, and I'll come to thanking our jury, but I do want to reiterate that the process was really difficult. It was very difficult, not just because we had to choose like less than 5% or 5% of the applicants, but it was also very difficult to see what youth today were asking for. What was the support that we're looking at? What's the kind of world that we're dreaming of, wanting to build or are living in? And I think that's a takeaway that we will always have with us through this launch period. This whole application process, the 52 applications basically came together, cemented the foundation of this program, cemented for us that this program was needed and will be needed till systems and structures change in a way that they should, till social integration doesn't remain a dream, it becomes a reality. We also want to thank all the applicants because it's because of you that this changed from Empower to Rise Awards, which would have been a financial support, to Empower to Rise Fellowships. There were many applicants who wrote to us saying, yes, we need support for X, Y, and Z. As one of our jury members, Amba, already said, that we really thought that we go beyond the statutory requirements and support people over and above that. But what we realized that, rights that other students took for granted, we had to support for that.
and which was even okay. But what our applicants did for us was not only bring us back to this grassroots of, or this root of, this is our right and we're not really getting even that support, but also added the layer of, but we don't know what to do with this support going forward. We need some kind of network to tap into. We need a guide, we need a mentor. And we all know the importance of a guide, a mentor. We're all in different places in our life because someone paused and said, hey, you're worth investing in. So thank you very much, all our applicants, our finalists, that you brought this program, that you helped us evolve. And at Rising Flame, we are absolutely responsive to the community, the needs that are articulated, the needs that are felt, the needs that are shared. And so this program, within a short period from the window of announcement or opening up of applications to the announcement of the awards, transformed to sort of respond to the needs of the community, and grew and became a more holistic and a better program, I would say, shifting from being a financial support to being a holistic support around having the financial award and a 6-month mentoring support. So thank you once again, each and every individual. It really is not that you did not deserve this award. It really is that we had to make a decision, and 3 winners have to be selected for their journeys, for what they brought to the table. Having said that, I also want to say that this difficult journey was taken with us by our esteemed jury, 3 fabulous people who I know personally and professionally both. So Parmesh, Rahul, Amba, thank you so much. It really would have been extremely challenging if we didn't have individuals like you thinking, handling each application with so much of love, compassion, empathy, and care. Really diving deeper into each story, into each life, understanding, pausing, thinking, reflecting, feeling that discomfort, feeling challenged, thinking again and reflecting again, and then arriving at a decision. So really thanks so much for doing that and taking that journey with us. I really want to also thank our 3 speakers. When we say that this fellowship is for the youth, and it really wants youths to become leaders of tomorrow, to be self-advocates in their own space, to work towards building inclusive, holistic spaces, and work towards more social and systemic inclusion by example, through their journeys, through their work, and so on and so forth. All 3 of you, Aditi, Rishabh, Parita, thank you for consenting again to share your story through this platform, to not only bring home the point that youth, investing in youth, creating support systems and building that foundation to empower youth with disabilities is extremely important, for reinforcing the point and lifting that invisibility around youth with disabilities, for sharing your stories to say that youth with disabilities have dreams and desires and have the will and the potential to move forward. So thank you so much. I would really, really like to thank each of you who have attended this program and have contributed and participated in this beginning of Empower to Rise, which is a commitment to work with youth, for the youth, to work on this journey of progress, success, and social inclusion. I would again urge, thank you again, Parmesh, for sharing our appeal with everyone. This has been launched as a program that is supporting 3 youth with disabilities. And I can assure you that we want to grow, expand, support, and bring more and more young people with disabilities along with us in this journey, in this fellowship, in this empowerment process. So each and every one of you can contribute in different ways to this journey, and we'll be really happy to have you as a part of the Rising Flame work and effort and initiative, through your physical presence, through your funding support, through your mentoring, offering to mentor young people, to being young people with disabilities yourself who lead by example and are role models. So we really would urge each and every one of you to come and join hands with Rising Flame to take this Empower to Rise journey much, much ahead and beyond for the future of youth and for the future of the disability rights movement broadly. I don't think my thank yous will be complete if I did not thank people who have made this happen. The fabulous and lovely Rising Flame team. Before that, the sign language interpreters who've made this event, who've brought this language to us here and made this space accessible and inclusive for us. Thank you both, Nishant and Sonali. Thank you so much for being here. You've been a part of Rising Flame initiatives even before, and we really appreciate and value your presence with us. So thank you so much. And now, time to thank the Rising Flame team. I would really request each of you, I mean, I'm sure all of you are on camera, but if you can wave, if you can say hello, or if you can just say anything, acknowledge, give a visual and a verbal acknowledgement. I would really like to start by thanking our intern, Gauri Bimole. Gauri, thank you so much for all your work on this. Our consultant, Unmana, our programs associate, Chanika, our social media officer, Saima, our videographer and photographers for who were part of this team for this specific event, Ankur and Shams. They're not with us here today. And last but not the least, Rising Flames co-lead programs, Srimati Raghavan. Thank you so much, guys, for really coming in with this commitment. As a self-led team, we all know that the commitment's there, but each time we come together to make this happen, each time we come together with double the energy, double the commitment, and multifold sort of efforts to make fellowships happen, to start working and advancing rights of women and youth with disabilities. We have one more person who has basically helped us reach out to all of you today. Mr. Deepak Rajani, thank you so much for joining us for this event and supporting us with the technical backend. I think it's a privilege to host this space. It's a privilege as a founder and executive director of Rising Flame to have an organization, to have a self-led team, to be associated with movements, with networks, with activists, with individuals, with diversity and inclusion champions, and with youth who have one goal towards moving ahead, striving more, moving ahead, working for greater inclusion, access, and integration. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely day, and thank you for being here.